Could not do the race without solid ground crew, and I think our ground crew is one of the best out there for sure. Um, but what's really awesome to see is that all the ground crews kind of come together. Our guys run out and help other boats when they have issues, or just help bring it in when when you're allowed at the point of the race where you're allowed to do that. And their ground crews do the same thing for us. And it really, by the time you get to like leg three, it's like a big family on the beach, and you're so happy as a racer to be coming in after a long leg, and you have all these people there to support you. It's really touching, really. Um, and it's just a great family kind of group on the beach waiting for us every day.
I hear about that a lot from a lot of the ones who've been a part of the world race beforehand. They say this is different from a lot of the races because it's not really the competition. It's more so the camaraderie of it. What separates the World 1000 from others is because they feel that sense of family when it
Hmm.
comes to each of you guys out there on the boats, when it comes to the ground crew and things like that. So I'm so glad to hear that again in
Yeah,
regards to the
it's
World
true.
1000 because that is awesome.
Hmm.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask, when you're when you guys come in and you can tell that you've been out there for a really long time, that you've kind of been dealing with and enduring a lot, how do you mentally get yourself to relax? I've heard this from a lot of the racers in interviewing them today that the adrenaline is rushing so hard. It's hard for you guys to kind of like decompress and relax from coming off of a race. So how do you do that? How do you get yourself back mellow so you can be ready and prepared for the next leg?
It does take a minute. Your adrenaline's definitely pumping when you come off the beach, or you come off the water onto the beach. I think the ground crews really help with that. When they just kind of take over and start taking the boat apart, and you start getting some food in you and some better drink in you, and you just slowly start to come down. But when that adrenaline wears off, you're done. You're dead. It's like it's time for bed.
Do
You've
you
got
guys
no
literally go
energy.
in and just pass out?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you might run out for dinner, but you're waiting for dinner to end so you can get back to the bed. Absolutely.
How I know a lot of the families are here or are supporting you guys via the Facebook Live, and we're going to get the comments live so we can respond to y'all as we're here doing these interviews. But how important is it for the family, the fans, friends to keep you guys motivated by reaching out, talking to you? Some of you guys' family is here. How does that help you guys also out there?
Oh, it's great. Like when you have the people that support you. For me, it's my wife Jessie and my two boys, and our four children together, and it's just that they're kind of looking at the app and tracking you along the way, and you know that, like, if you pick up a couple boats, you could just envision them in your head like clapping and being happy for you. And if something goes wrong, you can envision them wondering, oh no, what happened to them? They got 0 knots right now, something must have broke. But they're definitely a part of your experience the whole time, and your friends and your family that um, are just, they're with you the whole time for sure.
I appreciate that. Is there anything in particular that you would give as in a tidbit, insight, or a little nugget? Because we're trying to reach the audience out there to get new faces a part of the World 1000. Is there anything that you can give to a new face to get them to be a part of the world?
Yeah, absolutely. In what specifically, I think maybe some other teams as well, but specifically with our team, um, well, as a racer, you have to get sponsorship to do this race. It's not a cheap thing, and you see all the sponsors on the flags and the boats and all that kind of thing. But for Team Outer Banks, we're also supported by the Outer Banks Sailing Association, and that's a charitable organization. And when our donators like Pirates Cove and the Outer Banks Visitors Bureau donate and sponsor us as a race team, portions of that money go to the Outer Banks Sailing Association, which sponsors youth sailing in the Outer Banks and adult sailing in the Outer Banks and sailing in general. So we're trying to create an avenue for youth sailors in our community, all over the Outer Banks, to be able to replace Hardy and I, and to do other sailing and sail with us locally and do the F-18 series and Melges series. And we're actually, Hardy and I, after this race, are probably going to shift on more to a support realm. And we are actively, well, this is really the first time we're announcing it, but the Outer Banks Sailing Association is taking applications, I guess you could call them, for a new Team Outer Banks World 1000 team.
That is so awesome. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, we'd be happy to put 2 boats in next year's race and, get that race sponsored for younger sailors.
That is amazing. So to hear that we had a 13-year-old take a leg for Wonder in the World, to hear about his son saying that he's been doing this since he was like 5, 6, putting boats together since he was like 14. I was told by somebody else, like, maybe you should go to collegiate schools because they have sailing as some of their programs, and maybe trying to find new people like that. So it's amazing to hear you come and say that OBX has that opportunity to connect with young sailors and get them a part of the World 1000 and sailing in general.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's incumbent upon everybody who sails now to bring along the next generation and provide opportunities for them. And Hardy and I really believe in that. And, that's what we're trying to do with the Outer Banks Sailing Association.
We appreciate that. Is there anything that you, like I said, can say to a newbie about wanting to be a part of not just the World, but in general, the program that you were talking about? Is there anything that you would like to tell them or advise them of what they may need to do or prepare for to be a part?
Just get out there and sail. Go, if you're in the Outer Banks, come and join the Outer Banks Sailing Association. If you're somewhere else in the world, find your local sailing association and just start sailing. It's not, as hard as it might look. It's very attainable. And you just learn so much. It's such a good confidence builder for kids. It's, and adults. I mean, there's a lot you can be proud of when you gain the skills to, take a boat up the East Coast, take a boat across the river, or take a boat across an ocean. I mean, it's all the same sailing skills. So once you learn those things, the world is your oyster.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me, James. I really appreciate it. I wish you guys the best of luck on the rest of the World 1000 race.
Thank you very much.
You have a ton of fans via our Facebook page. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
Thanks for all the support, and we're going to continue racing hard, and we're going to hope we don't break anything.
Well, we're going to hope that you guys don't break anything either, and bring it on in safe and sound as well. Thank you so much for taking the time. It is Nikki here at the World 1000 race in the beautiful Folly Beach, South Carolina, and I'll be back.